Oh, we can recreate this joke again.
Alrighty.
Oh yes, Hook's point of view.
Ah, yes, that was the hook we left off on the last chapter.
Okay. Right. Just to reenact the jokes that occurred before we started.
So nothing is wasted. Waste not, whatnot.
Of course, and this is exactly. A joke saved is a joke earned. So this is following up on we're gonna kill it and cook it on a. Sorry, I almost read the chapter wrong. We're gonna kill it on a stick and cook it, which makes no sense. Which makes no more sense than what I was about to read, which was we're gonna kill it and cook it on a stick, which I think makes more sense.
Yeah,
if
it's
you
like,
ask
like a
me.
kebab or a skewer.
Right. I don't think to kill something on a stick, but
Yeah.
I mean it's possible. It's
If it was something small.
I think, honestly, the only complaint about the book so far. Yeah. So really, she's doing something.
The one flaw, but it can be fixed later, before it's printed out for publishing.
No, of course, we just have to get through this chapter until we get to his stormy gray eyes, which is really the peak of storytelling, I'm guessing.
God, yeah.
And also, don't forget, shooting stars aren't just for wishing.
Ah, yes, the reminder that we all need.
And also, the thrilling third to last chapter, bright light, dark shadows.
They're one and the same, really. They go hand in hand.
Those are 4 words, yes.
Bright light, dark shadows. Like, ooh, wow, intrigue.
Okay. Well, I guess if you want to start reading, since that's how we usually do.
Alrighty. This is chapter 20. A not so fond memory.
Then 2/3 through.
Boy, getting close. Alright, Hook's POV. I walked out of the hospital doors with Tiger Lily by my side and asked for the 3rd time, "Are you sure you're alright?"
Sorry, what happened in the last chapter? I'm pretty sure.
I think Chip was abused or something.
He was like bitten by like a what?
A
like
raven or a crow, I think.
Oh yeah, like a fucking bird. And then
no one cared.
He was. Yeah, he was in the hospital or whatever, and then like Tiger Lily like used some energy to save him.
Got a little
She's
dizzy.
like, oh, he's gonna die. Yeah, she got a little dizzy, and they're like, "Oh my god, are you all right?"
Yeah, everyone
like,
shifted
"I'm
their
right
focus
here."
to her.
And then like they magically saved him with something else, like, "Oh, here's an amulet,
Yeah,
but it'll make you age a little bit or something."
They gave him blue goo instead of green goo, and that's what fixed it.
Yeah, it's like such a ridiculous.
I mean,
chapter,
I don't have a PhD, so it probably makes sense. Honestly, I think it checks out.
Right. I just want to make sure I was caught up on the event. So everything's back to normal. Everything's fine, except for Peter's shadow, which might be it might come up in this chapter. Probably not. Also, a wild raven that's like a little bit askew.
Yeah,
So.
it's like limping through the forest still, coming to finish the job.
Right.
So, okay. Are you alright? To which she smiled and nodded, saying, "Yes, James, I'm fine."
So the point of all this was that this chapter begins with the same boring note that the last one ended on. So.
Oh, good. I was worried things might escalate a bit. My heart couldn't
Yeah.
take it. I'm on medication here.
Yeah.
It's a good milquetoast story to settle down with. I let out a sigh of relief. I don't know what I would have done if she hadn't been. What?
Like, what a ridiculous fucking thing too. I don't want to keep interrupting, but like, just like I asked again after the second 2 times. I said, "Are you all right?" And then this time she's like, "Oh, what a relief." Okay, I don't know what I would have done if she said no, even though I already asked her 2 times. Like, it's so stupid.
Where would you?
I don't know what I would have done if she hadn't been. Yeah, because like, what can you do
Yeah.
at that point? Like, oh, that sucks.
We would have been a little upset.
Yeah, too bad you used all your energy on Peter's hangover.
Where would you like to walk? I asked.
I would have had to give her a get well card or something.
Yeah.
Had to make the fairies make one for me.
Where would you like to walk? I asked. She shrugged. Whatever you want.
Whatever you want.
I'm like, wherever I want. I laughed. Come on, mate. This is about.
What?
Oh yeah, Freddy's a pirate.
She's Australian now.
Gotta get that.
Oh, this is Hook. Fuck. I didn't even think about that.
Gotta get the pirate dialogue quota met.
I thought maybe she just became Australian.
Come on,
Okay,
mate. This is
that's
about
fine.
you. Where do you want to go?
I'm pretty sure he never even said mate before. But.
How about matey at least? That's a bit more piratey, less
Yeah,
Australian.
I'm pretty sure, like, from his perspective, like, that's gonna be the only difference is, like, slight tweaks in his language. Otherwise, it's just gonna be, like, pretty much the same as Chaley's point of view.
She shrugged again and smiled apologetically. I don't know. I sighed and shook my head. All right then, follow me. I took her hand and led the way to a path. This one leads to a
path.
nice stream with a flat rock to sit on, and it's not far either, I explained. Captain Tour Guide here. Once we were inside the path, I quickly released her hand and awkwardly slipped mine into my pocket, fumbling with the various trinkets and such that it contained, and I berated myself for seeming so eager to cease holding her hand. Ugh. Now she probably thinks that I don't like touching her. I do. I mean, no, that sounds wrong. Oh my god. I shook my head. She always had a way of jumbling my thoughts until they were just a stammering mess. I keep forgetting this is the Hook from the TV show for teens and not the one from the cartoon. Who was probably like in his 40s, you know, with the beard and the mustache.
This book is a stammering mess. But like, I don't know. This is crazy. I don't even know what to say at this point. Just like, I feel like the dialogue is gonna be just as dumb as the dialogue with Peter and Chaley too.
I know.
Like,
I can't wait for more riveting romantic dialogue that goes
I know,
nowhere.
I don't know. Like, this isn't even like Tiger Lily's personality, right? She's supposed to be like quiet and brooding.
Yeah, everyone
right?
just
Not
swaps
like...
personalities all the time.
That's right.
Everyone's so
Or now
coy.
she's like, oh, it's this pirate guy that I really there's no reason that our conflict's resolved, but that's fine.
We walked down the path in silence for a while. I didn't know what to say, and it frustrated me. We've been so close when we were younger, but lately I've been finding it hard to talk to her. Is this the not so fond memory we're gonna figure out? Your performance in the moon celebration.
When we were younger,
yeah,
weren't they like
back before we had our pendants?
Didn't they not get along when they were younger, or is that am I misunderstanding like an important part of the story here, where the pirates?
Are you thinking about
pretty
Tim
sure...
or whatever, or Tom? Would they get or wait?
Okay, like canonically, right? This is like a sequel to Peter Pan. Right?
Oh yeah.
So like at that point,
oh
when
yeah,
weren't they not?
They were fighting, I think.
I'm pretty sure they were not in an alliance or anything.
Unless it was like a Romeo and Juliet kind of thing.
Sure.
Or unfortunately,
yeah, before they got all their various pendants, so that they could all be exactly the same age.
Yeah, that was their whole problem too. Now that was all solved. Oh, I must be friends now. Your performance at the moon celebration was outstanding, I finally said.
Your performance? What did she do? Like a fire?
She ran the projector.
Yeah.
It was in focus the whole time.
Wow, good job. Nice fire.
Oh, thanks. She mumbled, seeming embarrassed. I mentally kicked myself.
How?
How have you been? I feel as though we've hardly spent any time together lately, I asked.
Oh my god. I've been avoiding you.
I'm glad this is the relationship we're developing
James,
here.
I think we should see other people.
It's the hook. It creeps me out. How have you been? I just read that. Oh my god. Well, I don't know. I've been good, thanks. Mom called me up for a meeting the other day about tribe affairs and such. She doesn't realize I have no interest in becoming a chief. Or
interesting.
With all the struggles of the daily life of Tiger Lily.
Yeah, it's just like, oh my god, my mom's calling me about tribe affairs.
General things,
such.
nothing specific.
Yeah.
Indian
just
business.
Like it's like, how have you been? Well, I don't know. I've been good, thanks. Like, wait, what?
She made up her mind, I guess. Or maybe she does, but she hopes to sway your mind, I suggested. She shrugged. Yeah, or that.
Okay.
There was another silence until we came to a clearing. After that riveting dialogue, the
Well, that's good.
conversation died.
I'm glad she didn't try to force more dialogue in there. Just marinate in the silence of a dumb conversation ending. Thank you.
I'm sure this is relevant information. Well, here we are. I swept my arms around. Tiger Lily went...
Swept her arms. She's like sweeping up things into a dustpan.
He flies off. Tiger Lily went right to the flat rock by the stream and bent to look at something in the grass. I watched her as in a swift motion she plucked something from between the blades of grass and slipped it into her pocket. She straightened and smiled at me, pulling out...
She stole a blade of grass.
The scoundrel. I know I couldn't trust her. She straightened and smiled at me, pulling out a shelled nut from her pocket and tossing it to a fat squirrel across the stream.
Did she put it in her pocket and then...
Took it back
and
out.
then take it out of her pocket immediately?
Well, she's indecisive, so...
I'm trying to figure this out. Like, literally, the sentence ends, slipped it into her pocket. She straightened, pulled the shell nut out of her pocket, or was it unshelled and then she put it in her pocket and she has a pendant that magically shells it, which makes about as much sense.
The squirrel picked up the nut and chattered gratefully before it disappeared into the brush. Well, that was pointless. I walked over beside her. What'd you find? I asked, referring to what she had picked up from the grass. Oh, is that what she? Okay, is that what she was talking about?
Oh, so she put one thing in and she was like, "Oh, let me take something out." You know, I only have so much room in my pocket, so
can't hold all these nuts and berries in my pocket.
The shelled nut's gonna have to go.
Yeah, I gotta make room for this blade of grass. She smiled sweetly, revealing a dimple in her cheek. Nothing really. I looked at her quizzically, but her smile didn't falter under my gaze, though I think her cheeks may have gained a bit more color. I sat down on the rock. Why is it like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson? Why is that capitalized? Well, that's odd. This is a weird fan fiction.
Yeah, it's a sign. And he said, "Please get off me."
I took her hand. She looked down at me as I tugged on her like a toddler. Sit down with me, I requested, to which she obliged. We sat there.
You gotta love Captain Hook acting like a toddler. What a good fanfic.
We sat there quiet for some time. But why are there so many quiet pauses like between these characters? Like, have you noticed that? It's like constant. It's like stop.
Well, no, I haven't noticed that because it seems like they're constantly filling dead air. So I'm not sure how this all works out.
If you aren't going to become chief, then what do you plan on doing? I finally asked, resuming our previous conversation after that commercial break. She sighed and was silent for a moment. When
I want to do fire movies professionally.
When I finally thought she wasn't going to answer me, and I was about to begin parading myself once again, she answered.
God, this guy is like so.
I know,
like,
Hook has like no self-confidence for a pirate captain.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like he's the fucking he's fucking Captain Hook. He's like, oh my god,
I can't believe this. So embarrassing.
I'm gonna mentally kick myself.
Like for a guy with a hook, you know, like I don't know.
Interesting.
Okay, she answered. I'd like to learn more about healing so that I can be better at it and be of some actual use for once. Healing more than just a hangover. The last bit puzzled me, but what didn't was the glance that she regarded my hook with. Oh what? God, she gonna try. She wants to heal his hook.
Oh,
wow,
interesting. Yeah, I was gonna say that puzzled me, so I'm glad it didn't puzzle him.
Can she create the flesh out of nothing?
I feel like that's generally something where like you don't just like even in like a fictional thing you don't just like heal that, right?
Yeah, like I don't know. That's odd. Tiger Lily, don't. The damage was irreparable. No one could have achieved what you attempted, and it was stupid of me to ask you. She looked away. I can't even heal a stupid cut, she muttered. I took her shoulders and turned.
Well, it's good that she started with the hook hand, man.
Yeah. I took her shoulders and turned her to face me, looking into her eyes and chancing the glittering chocolate-colored gaze that so often fumbled my words. We both know that that is no ordinary cut. Don't you dare beat yourself up for being unable to achieve the impossible.
It's just a flesh wound.
Hey, there's a reference. Yeah. Her sparkling eyes searched my face before returning to my stormy gray irises. God. Oh, a little bit of foreshadowing.
Sorry, I'm just throwing up over here. Returning to my... She was just staring into my irises.
Your irises are lovely. Stormy gray.
Wow.
Much like the sea you sail on. Hook.
These match your irises.
Without you... Oh, wait. Tiger Lily, you are amazing. You are the reason I am the man I am today. So a bad pirate then, I guess, because he's not really doing much.
A pirate with like a permanently landlocked ship that just like...
We just get drunk and throw parties all the time.
And there's like no distinguishing any of the pirates from the Lost Boys. Like at this point, everyone's just the same. It's like one big homogenous thing they live in. He just says matey every now and then or something.
Without you, I would be just like my father. Her eyes widened. Don't say that. You're nothing like your father, she insisted. Perhaps not, but only thanks to you. Without you, I'd be a rotten, slobbering drunk with no reason to live other than to do my father's bidding and to hoard as much gold and treasure as I could in an attempt to fill the gaping hole that I would have inside me. Woo,
that's a lot of exposition right there.
Good character development. Just shove it all out there.
I was going to say. Yeah. If not, I'd be like my father who...
He was a drunk, and I don't want to be a drunk. I like you. You fill the hole in my void. Or void of my hole. Whatever.
You fill a void in my hole that otherwise I would have to replace with treasure, like my father. Well, like, is he also gonna, like... Are we just gonna ignore that he was also presumably like a hardened pirate at some point?
Yeah, like,
Or
was that never a thing?
or was he just always good? That's just
The more boring option.
yeah, of course.
Probably.
No conflict. Huh.
She seemed taken aback by my words and considered them silently. My gaze never left her face as I watched her expression change ever so slightly to one of my understanding. She met with my gaze with one of her irises, or with one of gratefulness. Her chocolate eyes brightened as they started to melt from the brightness.
God.
You always know how to cheer me up, don't you, James? I chuckled. I would hope so. After all these years of friendship,
But is that all he does is just say, "Oh wow, you make me perfect." Oh, you know how to just brighten my day.
Gee, you sure know how to fly
Thanks.
a girl.
Thanks, Hook.
She
What
surprised.
a charming pirate you are.
She surprised me by leaning into my side ever so subtly. I hesitated for a moment before I placed my arm around her. The rushing,
Ever so subtly as well.
the rushing of the stream became the loudest sound we heard as the peaceful silence bore on. The story started to
subtly.
bore on.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
I glanced down at my hook, and the memory flashed before my mind's eye.
Oh,
wow,
God.
that's a good way to insert a flashback. Just
Yeah.
literally flashing before the character's eyes.
Yeah. Oh, my
Oh,
God.
boy.
But yeah, like, why did he go into the fucking, like, mermaid cave or whatever? It was like, here, I want to relive this memory.
Oh,
Show me my drunkard father.
Oh man, yeah. I hope you're ready for some information about his father, the character we all care so much about.
Yeah, right.
Isn't this
Fucking
this called
Captain
Pan's
Hook's
Kiss,
father.
not Hook's dad?
His unresolved daddy issues.
God,
I'm glad that's
to
what we're
ruin
getting
this character. His hook he probably got a hook hand from his dad when his dad beat him and cut his hand off or something.
Great
He was just
shit.
traumatized. Okay, here we go. Here's the dark and gritty dad story. My father pulled me back onto the ship as I screamed, clutching the stump of my wrist as blood gushed forth. He regarded me for a moment before grunting and walking away. Get him some help, you fools! You fools! He waved his arm at the men standing nearby. Nathan rushed to my side and tore the hem of his shirt into a strip. He tied that strip around my arm a few inches below the gory stump and pulled it tight to lessen the blood flow. He tore the shirt.
Otherwise known as a tourniquet.
One for the layman. He tore the shirt again before grunting and pulling.
How many ways is he tearing his shirt?
Just use the whole shirt, man. Come on.
Yeah.
Don't salvage it. It's got the collar left around his neck.
Yeah.
So good.
He just like tears it into all these different strips to use for different things. He's gotta make the most of it.
He tore the garment one last time and hastily folded
Garment.
the remainder of the shirt twice and placed it over my wrist. I cried out in pain at the contact, and hot tears streamed down my face. Nathan ignored my cries, and within a moment...
So you missed pulling the garment off his coffee-colored body.
Oh, okay. Coffee colored, eh? Okay. Interesting way to describe that.
Yeah. Is that the new politically correct way? Or?
Well, I guess shoe polish color wasn't gonna fly. Maybe someone told her about Coon.
I was about to say, I guess Coon's not correct.
That's why he's good written now.
Oh my god.
No, my vision was becoming spotty, and I was feeling ill at the loss of blood. Nathan tried to stand me up, but my knees buckled.
He tried to stand me up on a date. I showed up, but he wasn't there.
He swept me into his arm and yelled at the other men to clean up the mess before it dried, and yelled at another two to ready the...
Yeah, before it dries, please. I'm worried about the floorboards.
Yeah, like, what bunch of real pirates here? It's so
he's like
hard.
sitting there bleeding out. They're like, quickly, I don't want it to stain.
Hurry, grab the ShamWow. It'll soak up in a jiffy.
Grab the bleach.
Oh, God. Bertrand, grab the magic wipes, magic erasers. Hurry, I just finished polishing the deck. I am not doing this again. I have things to do today. So stupid. Like, that's a concern.
Please, before it dries. It's going to be so hard to clean.
Maybe that's why I stopped pirating so hard. They're just too bloody.
Yeah. Yeah, you get too much blood on the floorboards.
We must get help from someone on the island, his deep voice informed me. Tiger Lily, she's a healer. She can help, I said hurriedly as I felt my consciousness slipping away.
Of course, he just intuitively knows that.
Yeah, yeah. The next thing I remembered was waking up on a large wooden table and seeing a hysterical Tiger Lily as she tried to heal my wound. I looked to my arm and saw that the bleeding had stopped, and my stump had a stinging green paste smeared over it.
Ah, yes, a cure-all. Just...
a plot convenient medicine for today.
Yeah.
I looked up at Tiger Lily, who looked everywhere except my eyes. Finally, I locked her eyes in my stormy gaze, and she calmed a considerable bit as her chocolate eyes melted and filled with fresh tears. Just say things. Like, don't describe them like this. It's so stupid. My stormy gaze, her chocolate eyes.
God. It's like this is like the 10th time they've used each of those things.
Yeah,
this,
like I thought it makes it even worse. Like it's repeated. I'm sorry, she choked. I looked at Nathan standing to my right.
I'm sorry. Sorry, just choking. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I'm choking on my chocolate eyes. Get hungry. Let's see. Look to Nathan standing to my right with a grim expression, tugging the corners of his large lips downward.
Nathan, what are you doing? That blood's gonna start drying. Get back to work.
And then back at Tiger Lily, who had her face in her hands and was sobbing as she babbled incoherently.
That'd be funny if when they're like, we must get someone get help from someone on the island, and they're like, oh, the fairies, they can clean up all this blood.
Yeah, that was
just
her main
ignored
concern.
Yeah.
Tiger Lily, I said.
I missed that joke, so never too late.
Tiger Lily, I said louder. She was silent as she lifted her face from her hands, meeting my eyes with a look of guilt.
I started to berate her. Tiger Lily,
Try harder. Get more goo.
Oh.
My demeanor softened as I saw the streaks of tears that lined her face. That's not your fault, I told her. She nodded her head with conviction. Yes, it is. If I were a better healer, I could heal you. She began once more to cry and was bowing her head into her hands.
I mean, just out of curiosity, is there not a better healer on the island than like this girl?
Oh, I don't know what she's trying to do. Like, is she trying to regrow the flesh? Like, because that seems pretty extreme.
Pretty lofty. But even then, like, why is he like, oh, this random girl, she's a healer? Like, I assume they're both young at this point, right? Isn't that?
Yeah, they should, like, I'm assuming the same age, right? Or they have not their pendants yet.
I don't know about the timeline, but well, let me see. Because when you scroll up, yeah, it says, well, yeah, because it's like his father pulled him. So like, you kind of get the idea that maybe he's younger at this point. I'm not sure.
I would imagine, yeah.
So like, you would think she's also younger. So like, there has to be like a more experienced healer than her.
I was gonna think this is when they first meet, but he apparently knows her by name, so I don't know.
Oh yeah, he's already like calling her out. Oh yeah, this girl. Even though we still haven't had a truce with them yet.
Oh yeah, right. Like, oh whatever.
Making sense.
Let's see. She began to cry and bowing her head into her hands again when I yelled, "Tiger Lily, listen to me." She seemed startled, but lifted her head once more. Me voice softened.
There's a pirate.
Yeah. Listen to me. What are you trying to do?
Arr.
Yo ho ho, me blood spilling out. She looked at me as if I had just asked the obvious. To regrow your hand. I looked at her.
I can't wait for everyone to come and just coddle Tiger Lily because she's exhausted from trying to medicine as he's like bleeding out.
Yeah, like it's okay, Tiger Lily. Oh, getting a little woozy. It's okay.
It's like, are you okay? I don't know what I would do if you're not okay.
We're getting paler and paler.
Yeah.
I looked at her astonished. Tiger Lily, that's impossible. We both know that. Her eyes lowered. Can you heal the wound so that it is no longer exposed? She sniffed and then nodded hesitantly. She worked over my arm for a while. I don't understand why it's taking so much effort, she cried as her confidence wavered. She probably just cured a hangover.
What is she, Captain Hook? With her confidence wavering.
Oh, yeah. She probably just cured a hangover earlier that day, so she took an extra effort.
That's right.
Tiger Lily, take a deep breath, relax and focus. And for goodness sake, use my energy, not yours. Is that okay? Is that
how does that work? Is that just is that an option? I don't.
Do you have like a cipher for that, or just? It's like, put your hand on my hand here, and then put this one on my stump, and okay, here we go.
Yeah, if not, why did you do that earlier when she was like running out of energy with like the fucking kid?
Use Chip's life source.
Yeah, just drain him once.
It's like, well, he's dead, but Peter's hangover is cured. I felt my energy ebbing away, confirming that was doing as I instructed. And after a few more minutes, the skin around my wound began to crawl and spread over the disgusting stump until the wound was covered in shiny pink skin. And that's a good place to end the flashback. I sighed as the call of a bird stirred me from my mind. She did it. I looked under my shoulder at her to find that she was fast asleep.
Oh, he must have been flashbacking for a long time
Yeah,
now.
it's
He's
like
just
nighttime now.
Yeah, he's just staring into space, like just completely comatose, and she's like,
It's like, it had now been 3 minutes since Captain Hook had last spoke.
Yeah. She'd already fallen asleep.
I looked under my shoulder to find that she was fast asleep. I glanced around the clearing and chanced a quick peck upon her head. That's a little
A little risky there.
Yeah. A friendly peck, of course, I justified to myself. Oh, damn it, he
Yeah.
says that. I found myself justifying my actions to no one but myself. Spider's too good.
She thinks of everything.
Deciding that Tiger Lily had had enough for one day, that one little peck,
Oh.
I scooped her in my arms and began carrying her back to camp to lay in her bed. To lay in her bed for a
I'm finally laying in her bed, of course. I justified to
a
myself.
good night's sleep, so lay in her bed. For my own personal health.
It's like thinking that this was too much already. I scooped her up and laid in her bed.
She stirred a little during the walk. Excellent. The plan is going smoothly. When I arrived at her house, I sighed.
Now here, just drink some of this fairy juice.
Look what I found.
Oh,
Magical components.
This one's flavored like tulips and chocolate.
Like your eyes.
Yeah, this one matches your stormy irises.
When I arrived at her house, I sighed in gratitude as I saw the stairs that led to her door rather than as I saw the stairs that led to her door rather than the ladders.
Thank God. This fucking whip of a pirate is afraid of ladders.
Like, oh mercy me, ladders. Oh boy. They just drop anchor here for tonight.
I just
honestly.
love that. It's like the fact that she's just like notes specifically like, oh, he was so relieved to see stairs.
Thought he might have to put some actual effort into his life.
Yeah, it'd be another plot inconvenience.
Many a time I had been grateful for these stairs.
Okay.
Oh, stairs, I love you. I'm torn between my two loves.
We need another fanfic with Captain Hook and stairs.
Yeah, Hook stairs. Climbing a ladder with a hook for a hand isn't exactly ideal. I mean,
I feel like it would be actually,
yeah, with the
like,
shape and
pretty much.
Hmm.
I feel like it'd be pretty much the same. The one activity that you could do with the hook pretty easily. That's fine.
Yeah, hooking onto a ladder and climbing it, and I don't know. I climbed the stairs and shouldered open her door. On her bed was a pillow with a green smeared towel laying over it. She must have been healing today. Come to think of it, Peter did seem a bit too well for someone who had consumed as much alcohol as he had that evening prior. Aha! That's what she was talking about when she mentioned the hangover.
Ah!
Nice. Sherlock Holmes over here, deducing everything.
Yeah, I was about to say this turned into a mystery crime fanfic pretty quickly.
Captain
So.
Hook, ace detective.
Yeah.
I set Tiger Lily down on the bed and removed the towel before adjusting her position. And not wanting to disturb her further by moving her too much.
Oh, you're like some still and lifeless.
Snatched a blanket from a chair and carefully laid it over her slight form. She stirred but didn't wake. Again, excellent.
Perfect, I thought to myself.
It showed just how tired she was that she could fall asleep sitting on a rock with nothing but a pirate to lean on and hardly stir for the whole walk back to her house.
I still think it's being pretty generous to keep calling him a pirate after all this time.
Yeah, really. It's like a faux pirate.
I know we had that whole flashback and probably the only one he's going to get, but what actually happened to his hand? Is it like in the book or whatever, where it was like a crocodile?
Yeah,
How
right?
even, right?
I feel like that was them trying to be like, oh, you know what happens, and this is like what happens after, but I thought we were going to get more
don't know what
dad,
happens.
honestly. Like, I thought
Yeah, right? Where did that come from?
Like, why is it a flashback about Tiger Lee and Hook?
Plus, like, I like how there's all this exposition about, like, his dad's awful, but then, like, the one flashback you get, his dad's just like,
He's concerned. He's
oh,
like,
please, help my son, yeah.
Yeah. Or I guess
Also,
like,
clean the floor, oh.
yeah. He had
Blood's
priorities,
gonna
Dad.
But, like, I don't know. I feel like the exposition didn't, like, line up with what we saw exactly, so it's interesting.
Like, I guess he was kind of dismissive of it. Like, he was like, meh, help him. But,
Yeah.
what a terrible father.
Yeah. I mean, he's a pirate, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, what do you
He's
expect,
an actual pirate, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. I smiled
I
happily.
remember, a good pirate never steals.
I smiled, happy with my work.
We have to like make sure we insert that plenty of times in the
Oh
visuals.
yeah, like let's keep like hanging up on the pirate ship. That's their mantra.
Yeah. Like these watered down pirates.
Yeah. I smiled, happy with my work, and then left her house, quietly shutting the door behind me. On her balcony was a table with various papers on it, held down with river stones.
She was doing paperwork. Yeah.
Her taxes.
All the tribal paperwork that's involved. Yeah.
One of the papers caught my eye, and by the shape of the lines of words made, I could see that it was a poem, though unfinished.
How could he see that it was unfinished? Like just from like a quick glance.
By the
like,
shape of the lines.
Yeah.
For a moment, I thought about reading it, but my ears burned at the thought of invading her privacy.
Why his ears? That's random.
Not his eyes, yeah, at least. I mean, that doesn't make sense either way, but yeah.
It's like, oh, but then my ears started to burn, which is the universal, emotion for invading
someone's writing
privacy.
poetry about me somewhere.
Right.
I quickly left her balcony and descended the stairs, sighing in relief that there was still no ladder.
Yes. Thank you, stairs.
All is
Where would I
well.
be
There's
without you?
stairs.
I didn't have to hook my way down a ladder.
Heaven forbid. Well, that was a pointless chapter, which is part of the course, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
Here's the author's note to save this, I'm sure. Aw, I just love them so much. Did you like Hook's point of view? I hope so, because I'm thinking about writing another book primarily from his point of view. Oh my god. Great. He's such an interesting character with plenty of material. I think he deserves a book.
I don't.
Hopefully you all enjoyed your dose of Hook. I'm trying to work him into the book more, since he's kind of important and all.
Well, if you're just going to write another book about him, then do that.
Yeah. What did you think of the flashback? Let me know if I should do more. Let me know how you like this chapter, and don't forget to vote. Much love, Chebe. Also, thanks for sticking with me, guys. Also, woohoo, my 20th chapter. I can't believe I made it this far. Thanks for sticking with me so long. I couldn't do it without you. And then again, another thing. So I went to the beginning of my book and consolidated 4 short chapters into 2. So now this is my 20th chapter, even though it says part 22. Wow. So she did some editing?
Oh, I guess so. I mean, this had to be a while ago,
out.
So.
Yeah.
Right, I know. Otherwise, we'd be on chapter 22 right now. I want to say just a quick note between us. Yeah, good job. Good job getting to 20 chapters of this. I'm actually kind of surprised that we made it this far. Like, just considering, like, when we started it in the beginning, we're like, oh, let's just read a couple chapters just to see how it goes. So, considering that we're pretty much on the track to finish this, I'm very happy about that.
I know, this is quite a fun project. I'm very proud of how it's turning out.
Yeah, every chapter I finish with like, oh wow, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
So
there were the next chapter basically.
I am getting a little worried about all these point of views though. I'm starting to miss. I'm starting to have a sneaking suspicion. Saying it so that she's running out of ideas with the main characters, and that's why we're like going on these little tangent stories.
Crazy. The whole plot with the crow though, that's so interesting.
Yeah, we were just getting to the good stuff.
Where's Chip gonna dig his grave on Neverland? Where's the land available for that?
At this point, she's trying to be like a word count thing, so she has to like delay the main like Skull Island plot a little bit further. So now we're just getting more filler.
It's like here's a flashback for nothing important really.
Yeah, this is a flashback for what we already just explained. Because literally what happened was she was like, oh yeah, you weren't able to heal my my hook, and then there's a flashback to her not being able to heal his hand or whatever. That's it.
Further elaborate on that.
Yeah, without explaining anything better.